Okay, jumping into Group A Distributions. These are just for the underlying equity ETFs: Google, OARK, Snowflake, TSLY, TSM, Exxon, and YBIT. Overall, recent dividends that are the most recently announced dividends. We have Google 31 cents, OARK 34 cents, Snow 47 cents, Tesla 39 cents, TSMY 64 cents, XOMO and YBIT 36 and 38 cents respectively. In terms of a percent, so what the dividend is for the month divided by the ETF price, clearly the dark red here shows from the group, TSLY was the best from a percentage basis. Get that to work. Because although the 39-cent dividend, which was an all-time low, with a $7.71 price, that still came out to a 4.1 or a 5.02% return. Let's do that on my calculator quick to make sure that is actually accurate. Yeah, you can do this along. Let's see, it was a 39-cent dividend roughly divided by $7.71. Yeah, just over 5% yield for the month. So that's not bad, but that's mainly because the ETF price is lower, as the dividend amount is an all-time low for TSLY, which just followed an all-time low last month. So some disappointment from TSLY owners, I'm sure, with both the ETF price as well as dividend distributions. Overall, only one stock broke 5%, so a somewhat lackluster performance this week, or for this month's Group A, at least relative to other weeks, which have some of the big names like Misty and NVIDIA and Coney. Yeah, overall, I guess that kind of shows you what the distributions were. As far as which fund is returning the best, I kind of, since inception, if we go to this total percent return, you could see Snow's been the best in Group A, followed by TSMY, followed by OARK, then YBIT, GUI, TSLY, and XOMO. I'd say of the Group A through D, Group A is probably the lackluster one or the worst performing one, mainly probably because the standout TSLY has not really done the best. It did have that reverse split. It came out in 2022, late 2022, and since then, the cumulative return, if you would have spent $40, you'd have $41.67. So clearly not what an investor is looking for. Look at these a little bit more in depth. I did mention TSLY. If you go to its distribution history, last month was the lowest ever, and this month slightly lower than last month. Not the heydays of back when it was started, it was above $1 or even above $2 in some cases. As far as your return, you can see here most of your return is from the cumulative dividend, almost $34 cumulative dividends paid out. That said, the investment would have cost $40 to get into, so you're up slightly on that, but other funds, Misty, NVDY, have performed much better. Looking at some of the other ones, Snowy's been okay, I think, from this group. There was one I'd would have been the best to buy maybe in this group, Snowy. That said, its distribution per share was quite low this month, I guess, relative to the other months. But overall, since its inception date, you can see the ETF price held in there, and your cumulative dividend is up to $12.14. So that keeps climbing nicely. It's been a pretty good performer overall. Yeah, I don't know what people own. I think TSLY's the most held one. Things like Exxon, very low volatility. If you look at this one, it's almost not even doing a YieldMax strategy because so much three strategies: the reinvested dividends, non-reinvested dividends, only underlying equity. They basically have been right on top of each other the entire history of the funds. Up slightly, but not the best overall. In terms of distributions per share, they're nice, but I guess nothing to jump up and down about.